Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad you're here. We have Ann back with us, and Lori's here. Yes.
That's right. Welcome back.
And whether you're live streaming or here in person, we're all going to sing about how we're all welcome here. You ready to sing the welcome song? I'm happy to be back. Let's go.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place, I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
We're in for a treat. We're lighting up our dreams today with Reverend Ray.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome.
I'm getting the message.
I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
Yes, it is.
My soul is welcome
My soul
here.
is welcome here.
My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
It's all about
My
your dreams.
soul is welcome
Light up your
here.
dreams, yeah.
My soul is welcome here.
Everybody's welcome.
My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome
Good morning, SLC. Good morning. And you know what? Welcome home and welcome back, Ann and Lori. My God, story of my life. I had Reverend Deborah here a minute ago.
I had to welcome back our script.
Well, welcome. Oh,
Good morning.
good morning. Orange, you nice. Oh, no, yellow, you nice.
No, orange was yesterday. Aren't you glad we're over the orange?
Yes.
We greet you this morning in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know there is no space that God does not grace. And if you're with us for the very first time today, whether you're watching us online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every single one of us is here by
Divine appointment.
And we're always just so grateful and glad to get together. And of course, the glee is palpable when you silence your electronic devices. And please refrain from flash photography during the service.
And today's daily word is forgiveness. What comes up to my mind, I remember, rotten kids. We used to, at nighttime, we used to go out on the golf course, the country club, and, one side, play capture the flag. One side had the 13th hole, the other had the 19th hole or whatever, and ruin the course, I guess. But, if you were caught, if you were caught, the team got you, you were sent to jail. The jail was a tree and you had to touch that. But if you could sneak into that tree and touch it, I see heads nodding, you played it too, you were on the golf course too. You got close to it and you touched that tree, you could say, "Ole, ole, income free." And everybody was free. Everybody was free. I think sometimes we think, oh my God, the mistake I made in 1942 or whatever, the mistake I made here, the mistake I made there, lack, scarcity, I can never be forgiven. But we know that there is that cosmic ole, ole, income free in terms of occasionally I may decide that a transgression or a mistake is simply unforgivable. However, when I maintain a spiritual perspective, I realize forgiveness is the key to moving on from painful interactions and is an important part of my spiritual path. Releasing unforgiveness may be one of the hardest things I will do, but I trust there will be peace in my heart and clarity in my mind when I do it. Whether I struggle to forgive another or myself, I trust there is no judgment or condemnation in spirit. Whatever the error, the divine presence within can help me transcend it. There is no pain, no hurt that is greater or more enduring than God. This is the comfort and promise that helps me to forgive and to know lasting peace. And from the Gospel of Luke we read, "Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven." Dear Spirit, thank you for that power of forgiveness, that there is no such thing as blotting the copybook that can't be unblotted. Thank you for your love. Thank you for SLC, this wonderful city on a hill with a powerful spiritual message, not just for Sacramento, but for the world beyond. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen and ole, ole, income free. So, new, we also say these words as a reminder of who and we are and why we're here. And that's our mission statement, to transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world we love, serve, and remember. And we say these wonderful unity principles which are so powerful. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God. And we must take action. So now, new.
New. Well, new is we're doing it again. We have the Wildest Prayer Circle on Wednesday at 5:30, and I run that. And then we have the wonderful, lovely soup at 6 o'clock. And I've got to tell you, we've got some of the best soup makers in the world here at SLC. Mm-hmm. And we do ask you to RSVP, but you know, RSVPing at 4 o'clock on Wednesday doesn't help them know how much food to bring. So if you're going to RSVP at least by like Tuesday night, if you want to do that, it's not a requirement. It just helps them to have enough food. And then, of course, we have the Faith in Action Wednesday Forum with Reverend Rick and Peg Sorrentino. So, and that goes all the way through November 12th, and that's at 7. And we've been ending exactly at 8:15, so that's a good thing. So we'd love to see you here.
And many people have been showing up for that, and we'd
Yes.
love to see that.
Yeah.
We've entered into that wonderful holiday of Diwali, which is a big holiday for not just Hindus, but also for Sikhs and Jains. Diwali is the festival of light over darkness, of good over evil. Go into our prayer chapel, and you will see that we're celebrating Diwali. There's a wonderful rangoli being constructed, led by Rachel Lehman. Also, there is going to be a Diwali festival from 3 to 5:30 p.m. today at the BK Meditation Center, which is 2670 Fair Oaks Boulevard. All are welcome.
And by the way, the dissolution of the Rangoli will be next Sunday between services,
Yes.
I believe. So, and there are flyers for the Brahma Kumari event as well. So, bingo. So online registration for bingo ends at noon on Friday, and there's a limit of 40 people. But if you go online and you try to register and you can't, go ahead and call the office, because we usually have some people who have to back out. So double check to make sure there's room. We are also happy to welcome a person who would be the grand prize sponsor for this event, and you can talk to the ladies at the hub about that as well. And of course, it's a trick-or-treat bingo, so costumes are encouraged, they're not required. And I believe that they're encouraged next Sunday
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So Rick called me the other day and he said, "So, do we do costumes?" I went, "Oh yeah."
Yes, we do. Another wonderful interfaith opportunity that we have coming to Sacramento is Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. He will be doing a wonderful meditation on the journey within. It will be on October 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. I think there are several from his group are supposedly here. Well, if not in here, then they'll be outside. Also, they will be with flyers, but it should be a wonderful, wonderful meditation event, and all are welcome. Oh, now I know social justice and all that. Many of you, it's been a hard time, and you're thinking of throwing in the towel. I would ask you, don't throw the towel in yet, because Bill has something to tell you where those towels can be thrown.
Thank you. So, good morning, my SLC peeps. I'm Bill, and I'm on the CAT committee, the Community Action Team. And this month, our project is simple, easy peasy. And that is, we're collecting towels to take to the major animal shelters, Bradshaw, Front Street, SPCA. And so dig into your linen closet and pull out those kind of frayed towels, or those hideous towels that your Aunt Fanny gave you for Christmas last year that you'll never put out, you know you won't. So drag those out, and we're going to take down these towels, and they fluff and puff the dogs and cats so they look their best, and they'll be adopted out of the shelters. So help us. And the people that brought towels this week, thank you very much.
Is next week the last week that you're accepting the towels? Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
New members, if you're thinking about becoming a member, we are soft sell in terms of members, but if you're thinking about becoming a member, and membership is important, and want to know more about it, come join us for a new member info session, which will be held at the Annex from 1 to 2 p.m. It will also be held on Zoom. The Zoom link is on the website. I'll be there. I think Janae will also be there. Come and ask questions. So if it's in your heart to become a member, please join us, and we look forward to talking with you about it.
And 3 times a year, we have the Board of Trustees sponsors a community meeting. Of course, one of those is our annual meeting. This meeting is usually, hey, what we've been doing this year, where are we, how are things going? That, it's just a nice sort of overall review, excuse me, of the year. And so at 1:15 to 2:45 next Sunday in the sanctuary and on Zoom, there will be a community meeting. So we invite you all to join that one.
And we will be talking about these. The board has been working on a strategic plan, and it won't be finalized, and it's still, you kick the tires and all that. But please come, because it's a process which is in formation, and we really would love to get your input on it. What makes ministry so wonderful? I mean, I was an economist, and becoming a minister made no rational economic sense whatsoever. But the wealth is when you start hearing people using these spiritual principles in really difficult situations. I mean, that is just incredible. And to see and to hear what our Lori has gone through and how, quite frankly, using these spiritual principles and coming out on the other side, more than good. I just felt that this should be shared with the congregation. So, Lori, could you come on up? I don't mean to put you on a pedestal, but wow.
Wow, look at all the people. So first, tomorrow's my 65th birthday.
Yay!
And I am not just a cancer survivor. I am a cancer striver.
Yay.
First, I need to say thank you to everyone that's prayed for me. And there's so many. I lost count at 1,000, I think. Everyone, my neighbors, my angel back here, Ann Roach, texted me every single day as soon as she found out. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in July, and I had a double mastectomy on September 3rd. I can remember all these dates now. And I'm just happy to be here. The prayer energy was so amazing that I couldn't think of any other way I would come out of this besides powerful. The worst part was thinking about what was going to be done to me during surgery. And I thought about it every single day. But I could feel everyone praying for me from everywhere. Silent unity, everywhere. It was coming from my neighbors. It was an amazing thing, something I'd never, ever felt before in my life. I know about prayer, and I pray, and I know the principles, but this was different. This was definitely different. And I can still feel it. I'm still feeling it. And it's always going to be there now because I know where it is. I get to be a living prayer now. The day of the surgery, I had some prayer warriors from SLC, and I'm going to mention their names, Denise Anye, Carol Manson, and Sandy Wilson, were waiting for me when I walked into the hospital to be checked in for my surgery. And you could feel them. I was coming in the door. I didn't have to see to know they were there. We went up to, Sutter Roseville has a loft. And so it's open at the top when you go up. And all the people are sitting around, and they're all looking sad or hungry, because I was. You don't get to eat 24 or 12 hours before your surgery. And there was a couple, and they were talking about food. And, of course, I had to jump in on the conversation. And as I did that, I saw my prayer warriors just light up the room. You know, they're living prayers as well, just like all of you. It was the most amazing thing to see everybody smiling and happy. And I guess when we came out the elevator, it was like, ta-da, because you could feel us coming. And I never thought again about how the surgery was going to turn out, what it was going to look like when it was over, how I was going to feel. And I was terrified until I could see even the people in the area. One guy said, you know, I'll be praying for you. If we could do that every day, all the time, we could change not just this nation, we could change the world. We can. And I felt it, so I know we can. So I just want to say thank you all. Don't stop praying. Pray for everybody, and I mean everybody. Thank you.
Let's give an SLC blessing to both Lori and also to Ann. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. and we behold God's love as you. And we truly do.
So there are many things, as we have just seen, that foster transformation in our lives here at Spiritual Life Center. And of course, prayer, as we've just been speaking about, is the most probably important and fastest way for that transformation. And our prayer chaplains are here. They wear the white stoles. They're happy to sit with you in times of challenge and in times of celebration. So go out into the courtyard and find a chaplain and spend a little bit of time with them. And of course, you can also check out our weekly offerings, our small groups and our classes and other things. You can go to the bulletin board, look at that. You can also go chat with the ladies at the hub. And of course, you can find it all on our website.
And we come here for so many reasons. One of them is for connection. So let's connect. Let's greet each other in the way that we feel most comfortable doing it.
song.
Let there be light, our light shining in the presence and power of Spirit in me. Let there be light, our light shining in the presence and power of Spirit in me. Let there be light, our light shining in the presence and power of Spirit in me. Let there be light, shining, our light shining in the presence and power of Spirit in me. By cosmic design, audaciously fine, I align with my divine identity.
And let's remember that that power doesn't come from listening to KEGO. It comes from listening to KGOD. I have so enjoyed the Faith in Action with the home groups and the Wednesdays and everything else. But one of the things I've really, really enjoyed has been the art. I mean, we've had wonderful, wonderful artists who take a chapter from Lieberman's book and out comes artwork. What I've enjoyed is not just the visual art, but my goodness, the written statements that they have produced, the artists have produced, have just been fantastic. So the first one is on chapter 5 of the book. And the artwork is by Carolyn Cochran. Yes. Carolyn writes in chapter 5 of Luminous Life, Jacob Lieberman suggests that consciousness is light and light is consciousness. They do not exist without each other. We all originate from the same light and the same consciousness. He also states, what is revealed in our dreams through the light of consciousness provides profound insights into our inner life. Seeing during the day or seeing in our dreams both require light and consciousness. Seeing during the day is by the light of the sun, and seeing in our dreams is by the light of consciousness. The yin and the yang in this carved gourd sculpture represents both the contrast and the connectedness of light and dark. Sun and moon, waking and dream time, light and consciousness, visible and invisible, daytime vision and dreamtime vision, inner life and outer life. Wow. And might I say, go, if you've not looked, go outside, look at more of their artwork and this art. Next, from Beverly Akin, on the next chapter, she writes, this picture is needle felted using layers of dyed wool. Barely visible in the center of the tree is a green heart, symbolizing that we live in the heart of God. In the section about merging into oneness, Lieberman writes that sun and moon both appear to emit light, but the sun is the source and the moon is the reflection. While the sun provides the light and warmth for all the earth to grow, the aura around the moon in the night sky, along with the twinkling stars to wish upon, keep hope alive. The tree exemplifies the quote from the Gospel of Thomas, quote, when you make the two one, the male and the female are one and the same, end of quote. The trunk supports two branches of the tree, male and female, holding up a little sprout that always is reaching. A strong, solid tree rises from the roots, anchored in the earth. Walking in nature, we feel peace and stillness. May we be rooted solidly in God, and like the moon, may we reflect brightness. May we be interconnected with the infinite expansion of the universe as we merge into oneness and let our luminous life shine. Thank you to our artists.
So let's take a brief moment. Drop down into our heart space. Prepare for meditation by speaking our beautiful vision statement. And send this out to all the world. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
And now, in preparation for meditation, we invite you to sing our mission statement. Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love, serve, and remember? To remember what? To love, serve, and remember. Please join us in singing.
Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. Why have we come to earth? Do you remember? Do you remember? Why have we taken birth? Why have we come? Why have we come to love, serve, and remember? To love, serve, and remember. 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 To love, serve, and remember.
Let us move into this time of quiet and contemplation by taking a slow breath. Calm your mind, calm your body. With each breath now, allow yourself to release any tensions or concerns. Bring your full consciousness into this room, into your body, into the sanctuary of your heart. As you relax, your consciousness begins to drift and then float up into the ethers, into the land of daydreams. You are standing on a high mesa near midnight. It's quiet and still. It's a cool summer night, and the moon has not yet risen. And this makes the panorama of the Milky Way even more spectacular. The millions and millions of stars turn the sky into a river of blue-white light. And gaze up into this miracle of light in the stillness of the night. The river of light pulses and beckons. And it is in this moment that you know that this is your true home. The stars are made up of the same substance that makes you. You and the stars are the same. You close your eyes and throw your arms wide, extending your own light, and standing quietly, you become one with the Milky Way in a short moment of silence. As you lower your arms and look toward the east, you see the full moon hanging low and bright on the horizon, as if waiting for its cue to begin its ascent. And the realization comes that you and the stars are same, except one exception. The stars do not hide their lights. They shine for all the universe to see. As you watch the moon rise a little higher in the sky and gaze upon this magnificence, you ask the question, how is this possible? The moon, now high in the sky, illuminates a great granite altar. And as you approach, you see a small book lying open on the altar. And it says, there are more possible abilities and dreams than there are stars. As you gaze upon the lights of the universe, imagine each one as a possibility in your life. Possibility for growth, change, transformation. Allow that light of possibility and dreams to enter your mind and heart and lay it on the altar of life. And so in this moment, you think of what your dream is, what you want to be possible in your life, what you want to open up to. Symbolically lay your dream on the altar in the middle of a moonbeam. Moonlight silently streams down, filling you with vision and confidence. And you accept the light of this possibility into your body and your soul. And now you immerse yourself in your vision of possibility in the silence. The light of possibility burns within you. As you take a breath to return to this room in your body, please receive this blessing. Oh, my beloved, you are the stars. The stars are you. You are a child of the universe. Everything you ever need is within you. Your possibilities are infinite. Your inner light is infinite. Shine your light for all to see. It is why you came to earth. Remember this always.
Your dream brought you here.
Where will they take you tomorrow? You believed in spite of fear. You stayed strong, had faith, and followed. Oh, nothing can hold you back from your truth. So now it's up to you, and only you, to choose. Yes, the road's been long and a little weary, and you may have lost only to gain, and now you're sitting right here, so you can hear me congratulate you for stepping out into the rain. Yeah. 'Cause sometimes you just don't know if the sun's gonna shine, but a vision fed your fire time after time. Your dreams brought you here. Where will they take you tomorrow? You believed in spite of fear. You stayed strong, had faith, and followed. No, nothing can hold you back from your truth. Now it's up to you, and only you, to choose. Yeah. You've got everything right here, and all that you can see is yours to have. And now your only goal is knowing what you want deep. And it's so simple, so hard. Oh, I cry aloud. 'Cause sometimes it's just so hard, and you don't know if the sun's gonna shine. But the vision fed the fire time after time. Your dreams brought you here. Where will they take you tomorrow? You believed in spite of fear. You stayed strong, had faith, and followed. No, nothing can hold you back from your truth, your truth. Now it's up to you, and only you, to choose. So what you gonna do? Where you gonna go? Who you gonna
see? Can you see it? What you gonna do? Where you gonna go? Who you gonna be? Can you see? Can you see it? What you gonna do? Where you gonna go? Who you gonna be? Can you see? Can you see it? What you gonna do? Where you gonna go? Who you gonna be? The dreams brought you here. Where will they take you tomorrow? You believed in spite of fear, and you stayed strong and faith and follow. Nothing can hold you back from your truth. Now it's up to you and only you to choose. Now it's up to you and only you to
Wow, thanks to Anne, Laree, and Paula, and our entire music team. Thank you, Deborah, for a wonderful meditation. Well, you know, dreams can be very revealing, but they also can be amusing. Let me tell you about one I had a few months ago. Let me set it up a bit. I used to be a very heavy smoker, smoked pipes, cigars, and I was very good at rolling cigarettes, if you catch my drift. So anyway, it was a long time ago. I visited the dentist, and the dentist said to me, you know, there's some things on the roof of your mouth. They're either calluses from smoking or you're developing lymphatic cancer. You might want to read up about lymphatic cancer. I went down to this way before the internet. I went down to the library and read about lymphatic cancer. It scared the living bejeebies out of me. I must say that I've dealt with several addictions, and tobacco was the hardest. Really, honestly, was the hardest. For those of you who still smoke and want to give it up, I feel for you because, you know, tobacco is a very, very hard addiction to kick. So anyway, I get smoking dreams. I haven't smoked in years, but it's hard for me to, did I really? I haven't smoked in, because the dreams are so vivid. So anyway, in the dream, I am poolside in a 5-star hotel resort, kind of the places at United Way we used to go with high-end donors. And I'm sitting there by the pool, and a man comes up with a Cuban accent, and he says, are you Reverend Rick? I said, yes, I am. Well, congratulations, you've won this box of Cuban cigars. No, there must be, no, there you are. Let me give you one. He hands me one. I said, it's been ages since I don't have a cigar cutter. He said, use mine. And he cut it, and I light up. I'm smoking. In the dream, boy, perfect smoke rings. Perfect smoke rings. And all of a sudden, a guy called Randy Traer. Randy was from high school, and he still looks like, it was in high school, and with the same voice and all that. And he turns to me, he says, Ricky, and you know it was one from way back when. It was Ricky, please do not smoke. So much we know about tobacco since, we were in school together. Please don't smoke. I took the cigar out of my mouth, blew perfect smoke rings, and I said, Randy, it's perfectly safe. I only smoke in dreams. And this is a dream. Whereupon I woke up, turned over, and it turned out that my box of Cuban cigars was my cat who had crawled into. Jacob Lieberman, I think, has some very, very interesting things to say about dreams. He says, seeing during the day involves the light of the sun, primarily interacting with the conscious mind. Then he says, seeing during the night while we are dreaming involves the light of consciousness, largely interacting with the unconscious mind and creating a level of reality unlimited by time and space, and appears to be recognizable and otherworldly at the same time. He also adds, dreams are where our fears and concerns about life repeatedly appear in symbolic manner. This provides us depth or awareness to help us integrate our lives. And he also notes, what is revealed in our dreams through the light of consciousness provides profound insights into our inner life. He notes Sigmund Freud and said that the interpretation of dreams is the royal road to knowledge of the unconscious mind. And he adds, the depth of vision experienced in our dreams provides us with a glimpse of our outer limitless nature. The question now is how to tap this limitless nature in our waking life. Let me repeat that. The question now is how to tap this limitless nature in our waking lives. I recently was in St. Petersburg with my daughter Therese, and we went to that great Salvador Dali museum, which is in St. Petersburg, which has incredible surrealistic pictures all over the place. Well, I believe that all of us have had in our dreams visual tableaus that are equal to the pictures of Salvador Dali. I believe that in our dreams, all of us, and I mean all of us, have constructed dialogue equal to the fabulous prose of Lewis Carroll or Mark Twain or Franz Kafka. I believe that in our dreams, all of us, and I mean all of us, have had insights and ideas equal in value to Buckminster Fuller and Nikola Tesla. So the question, I think, goes back to what Lieberman is talking about. How do we tap that gold mine and bring it into our conscious world? I've loved, several of you have given me books about Sacramento, which I've been loving reading, particularly about the gold rush and all that. And you know, the saying, there's gold in them thar river, there's gold in them thar hills. Believe me, there is gold inside of them thar mind. The question is, how do we bring it out? How do we bring that out into the daily world? And I'm going to be suggesting several ways which have worked for me. And do you remember the old Alka-Seltzer commercial? Try it, you'll like it. You know, the problem is sometimes something works for me. Oh, if it works for me, it must be a universal truth. You know, if it works for me, it works for me. It may not be, and probably is not a universal truth. But I'm going to make some suggestions of things that have worked for me in getting more of that unconscious gold into our waking minds. But let's look for a minute before we start doing that at some modern theories about, dreams, the creation of dreams, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to first give what I think is the majority view. You went to most scientists who study this. This is the majority view. Then I'm going to give a minority view. But you know what? It's fascinating. I remember a few weeks ago I talked about light is a particle, wave, and over time that has switched. So what is today's majority view, could be tomorrow's minority view, and tomorrow's minority view could, be common knowledge and the majority view. But the current majority view is what I would call electrical discharge theories, chemical discharge theories. Now, I don't know about you, but I have found that over 95% of my problems with electronic equipment, if I just reboot, if I just shut it off, and again, the darn thing starts working again. Well, this majority view about dreams is that essentially what's going on at night is your mind and your chemical system, your endocrinology and all, is rebooting as it were. And that there are periods during the night where electrical discharges are sent out, chemical discharges, and they're random. They're random things which are coming out. However, the mind doesn't want to admit that it's random, just random. And what it is essentially the dreams are the mind trying to make sense of these electrical and chemical discharges. The mind is imposing, as it were, order on randomness. It's sort of like an electrical Rorschach test. Now, it's interesting how, Freudians and Jungians might argue about a lot of things. Carl Rogers or Maslow, they may all disagree about something, but they've all come to some sort of peace with this electrical discharge system, and would say commonly, yes, it might be electrical discharges, it might be random shocks or things like that, but how the mind interprets this electrical Rorschach test is so revealing. And it can give you a real insight on one's subconscious concerning wishes, fears, desires, etc., etc., etc. Now, the minority view, as it were, one of them is something called quantum dreaming. Quantum dreaming is a concept that explores the ideas that dreams are not just random narratives, but can be portals to parallel dimensions or alternate realities. It proposes that during dreams, consciousness may tap into the vast tapestry of quantum possibilities and alternative timelines. Dreams might be glimpses into the past that could have taken, acting as bridges between familiar waking reality and countless parallel worlds existing simultaneously. This perspective sees dreams as a cosmic cinema playing scenes from alternate realities. This concept also ties into quantum consciousness, where the awareness and observation play an active role in shaping the reality. Quantum dreaming suggests that through conscious interpretation of dreams and psychic visions, individuals can become active participants in shaping their reality by aligning with the possibilities offered in their dream states. Additionally, this school of thought has also been very interested in ancient and modern dream practices. If you're interested in any more of this, let me make two suggestions. One is, he's a UCLA physicist. His name is Dr. Fred Alan Wolf. Dr. Fred Alan Wolf has spoken at Unity Village. He won the National Book Award for a book called Taking the Quantum Leap, but the one that really delves into this is a book he wrote called The Dreaming Universe. Another person is a woman by the name of Teresa Chung from Cambridge University. She's written many things about this, but I would recommend her book called The Dreaming Dictionary, A to Z. What's really fascinating, I think, what Teresa Chung does is she looks at images, but she looks at them from both what you would consider a personal subconscious and also a collective subconscious. In other words, you have a flying dream. It could be tied to, a Jungian archetype. But also, quite frankly, if you had a pilot, if your father was a pilot and he took you up when you were 4 years old, it would be very different from somebody who, had their first flight was when they were 19 years old, as it were. So let me make some suggestions about things which have helped me to tap in more into this unconscious level and bring this gold into consciousness. The first thing, what I would strongly suggest is go into this with realistic expectations. I remember one of the best therapists I've ever had was a woman by the name of Dr. Rosemary Sagala. And I remember going in and saying, Rosemary, I am trying with dreams, but I forget I forget almost everything. And I get just one little image here and I latch on to this and She said to me, Rick, on a good day, I remember and can interpret at best roughly 20% of the dreaming content. I thought, Rosemary can only bat 20%? You know, wow, if Rosemary bats 20%, if I'm batting 8%, that's a good day. So I would suggest first, go into this with realistic expectations. Next, keep a notebook by the side of your bed or a smartphone by the bed to be able to record instantly when you get up. If it's not there and you have to go look, or if the pen's not writing and you have to find another pen, believe me, by the time you come back with the other pen, it's in one ear and write out the other. Another thing which I have found to be so powerful is something developed by Carl Jung called active imagination. Active imagination. It involves consciously dialoguing with images, figures, and symbols that arise from the unconscious mind, helping to produce integration of the unconscious material with conscious awareness. In other words, and probably his most famous work on this was literally, he did this, was called The Red Book. It literally is a red book. He was a great artist as well as writer. Let me give one example. An image which came to him often in a dream was, he called it Philemon, the wise old man, the spiritual guide. And so he would be conscious and he would start dialoguing with Philemon. Now, you might say, well, this sounds crazy or whatnot. But it's interesting. A lot of times you hear great novelists. I created Anna Karenina, but, and all that, just Tolstoy. But but she started behaving in ways which I hadn't really anticipated. I had chapter 5 going this way, and Anna would, in other words, as you start doing this process, you'd be surprised what starts to come up, and things start shifting, not in as you thought you were consciously controlling it. And it doesn't have to be just with human beings. I mean, believe me, the reindeer in your dreams talk too sometimes, and you say, I feel stupid doing it. But no, sit and, if it's a reindeer or a duck or whatever, and that duck seems to be appearing in a lot of your, have a conversation with that duck. And you'd be surprised what it's going to quack up to you, And it takes on a life of its own. Now, if you think, well, Rick, SLC is associated with unity, and unity, this is not kosher according to unity. Hogwash. Let me tell you a story about Myrtle Fillmore, the founder of Unity. Myrtle Fillmore would take 2 chairs and face them to each other. And she would put a picture of Jesus in one of the pictures. She'd sit down in the other chair, and she'd have a chat with that picture. And she'd, was she really talking to Jesus? Or was it her higher self? Was it something in her mind? I leave it to you to decide. But you know what? Read her books such as The Healing Letters. Read the wisdom that flowed from Myrtle Fillmore, helping people going through some of the worst things that life could throw at them. Wow. If, what it reminds me of, a true story, and let's face it, back in the Civil War, a lot of the Civil War didn't go the Union's way. Picture yourself as Abe Lincoln, and you're having to fire one general to the other. Finally, you get Ulysses S. Grant. Whoa, and he's winning, So some of Lincoln's aides came to Lincoln, and they said, Ulysses S. Grant drinks. He has an alcohol problem. He drinks at night. Lincoln looked up and he said, well, find out what he's drinking and send a case of it to all the other Union generals. I believe that this active imagination ties very much into, and I could also tie it to Charles Fillmore. Charles Fillmore, he saw Myrtle. Myrtle was death's door. Now she's healed and she's recovered. People are coming into their parlor, and a lot of them are getting better. They're listening to, this is the start of silent unity. This is the start of silent unity. And Charles, being the great man of business and science looking, he can't deny what he's seeing, but he's still the skeptic. I got to know whether there's something really here. And his words, I'm going to headquarters. I'm going to headquarters. And he then went into prayer. And, this was the first real big experience for Charles about prayer and meditation. And he was shocked to find out that he felt there really was something there, that there really was a power coming to him. There was, as it were, a voice coming to him. So, I don't see this out of line with, Charles and Myrtle, and I could go to some of the other pioneers, and I think it flows very much. Another thing which has been so powerful for me is something called two-way prayer. Recently, a new book was published called The Power of Two-Way Prayer. It's by Father Bill W. He's an AA and, anonymity, so it's just Bill W. No relation to the founder of AA. Father Bill is a former alcoholic, an Episcopal priest. Essentially, what two-way prayer is you first center, you write a letter to God, Spirit, your higher power, your higher self. Then you recenter. You pick up the pen and you record a letter back from God, Spirit, your higher power, or your higher self. Let me read you some things that Father Bill wrote, which I think are so powerful. He says, two-way prayer gets you listening to that still small voice that resides within us all. The voice is honest, pure, unselfish, and loving. It leads us in that direction. And Father Bill also writes, sometimes people ask me, how do you know it's really God's voice you're listening to and not just your own? I tell them, I really don't know for sure, but I don't worry much about it anymore. If it's me, it's the best part of me I've ever found. It's the part of me that wants to become who I was always meant to be. It wants me to become more honest, pure, unselfish, and above all, more loving. It assures me that it is never too late to change and that there's always more room to grow. And when I fail to listen or to follow, it never yells at me like my father did, but patiently waits for my return, asking, are you more ready to listen now? I think that, skepticism about doing anything like that. One other thing Bill says, which I think is really powerful, he says, if what you believe now you would have thought was heretical 10 or 20 years ago, if that's not the case, you're probably not spiritually growing. If you're spiritually growing, you're thinking things now which 10 or 15 years ago you would have thought heretical. I would agree with that. I would have, 20 years ago, but now I've seen the power of it, and I think it really does help make so much of that gold that's tapped inside of our heads really, honestly, truly come alive. And I go back to Unity's second principle. That divine spark is inside of us, and that is who we really are. What would a loving God do and want? That's what I say to myself. What would a loving God do and want? Of course, a loving God would want us to have communication. What do you think? God talked all this time in the past, but now has a terminal case of laryngitis? I think our sense of unwillingness to try things like that deals more with our unworthiness or the shame which we still, he wouldn't want to, he, she, it wouldn't want to communicate with me. Nonsense. I would suggest very strongly that when you do this, check it out with a good spiritual mentor. Have a good spiritual mentor. I do spiritual direction every month with Reverend Robert Brummett. I feel very blessed to do this. Reverend Robert, many consider to be like the Yoda of the Unity movement. But have a good spiritual mentor that you can check this stuff out. And I would also say check out the great holy scriptures of the world. Read that. Read them and, check it out with that. These are two, I think, excellent checks and balances. One of the things which I have really enjoyed is meeting with so many of you. either in my office, or we've had coffee, or we've gone out for lunch. Several of you, I've come to your homes and visited with you there. And it's really interesting how many of you have, these freaky experiences you're telling me. For example, Friday, this is from meeting on Friday. The fella tells me he had a young associate who was almost like a son to him in his business. And this young guy died tragically at a very early age. The lights in his office went dark and would not come on. They had electricians come in, nothing could get the lights going again in that office. They had a celebration of his life service, a wonderful celebration, and they went back, and guess what? Nobody had flipped the switch, but the lights were on. The lights were on. A story, I think, of a similar vein, tying with this, dream world, as it were, I recently read was by a woman by the name of Jill Meredith of South Daytona, Florida. Jill was going back to Bermuda with her husband, Johnny. Johnny was born and raised in Bermuda, and this was the 10th anniversary of their wedding. They were going to renew their vows and all that. And Jill kept on having dreams about Johnny's mother, who everybody called Mum. And in the dreams, she's back 10 years or 11 or 12 years ago. And Jill really felt she came from the wrong side of the tracks, and Johnny's family came from the upper crust side of the tracks, as it were, and they're not going to like me, and they're going to reject me and tell Johnny, stay away from her, she's bad news, or all that. But when Jill got to Bermuda, Mum was just wonderful, was kind to her. There was one dinner where of course, Jill took the wrong piece of silverware to use, and when it came time to use that piece of silverware, there was a new one right there, and she realized that Mum had sort of slipped it over. That was the kind of woman Mum was, and really, Jill developed her spiritual life from that relationship with Mum, and it was tragic when Mum died. Mum also very much loved animals, particularly red cardinals, and she loved it when red cardinals would land on the branches of the orange trees that were around the property. So anyway, Jill was a series of dreams about Mum and feeling the loss. And then one time when she was in Bermuda, she woke up at the family home. They had carried old suitcases. They didn't have time to get new ones. It was old suitcase. She opened the suitcase and went into one of the pockets, and there was an old letter. How could we have not seen it? It pulls the letter out, and it's a letter from Mum. Mum wrote, "Dear Johnny, if you come and I'm asleep, just open the door, come on in, and I'll see you in the morning. I can't wait to meet Jill. I have a feeling that she feels out of place or she's not sure and all that. I really want to meet her and comfort her and welcome her into the family. Love, Mum." Oh my goodness, to find that letter. Jill ran downstairs to show this letter to the rest of the family. As she came down the stairs in the courtyard were two red cardinals on orange branches. So I think all of this really boils down to a few key points. First, the importance of dreams, both the personal and also collective unconscious. And second, whether you hold more to the electrical discharge view of dreams or quantum dreaming or some other theory, it is important to find ways to tap into this vital unconscious warehouse and to be able to do it when you are awake. And third, how to do it? Well, there are many ways to do it. What has worked for me, have realistic expectations about what you're going to be mining and how much. Active imagination, which I think is such a powerful tool, and or two-way prayer. And fourth, be sure you check out your active imagination and two-way prayer writings with a trusted spiritual advisor and also with scriptures. from around the world. Let me end with a quote. It was interesting, one of our artists went to that quote from the Gospel of Thomas. And Lieberman actually at the end of one of the chapters really quotes this. Now, in the official Bible, there are what are called 4 canonical Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. However, modern archaeologists have found over 50 Gospels. Most of them didn't make it in, but there are many, many more Gospels than just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Some of them, however, were probably written at the end of the 1st century, 2nd century, maybe even in the 3rd century. But a few of these Gospels we know are as early as the canonical Gospels. We think of among the official Gospels, the oldest is probably Mark, probably written around the year 70. But we believe for very solid reasons that the Gospel of Thomas is as old as the Gospel of Mark. So a very early and ancient gospel. In it, Jesus says, when you make the two one, the inside like the outside, and the outside like the inside, the above like the below, and the male and the female one, and the same, then you will enter the kingdom. Let me add, when you can connect the conscious with more of the unconscious, then you also will enter the kingdom. Thank you, and God bless. Namaste.
Reverend Rick, and all of that reminds me of a time when there were some people around me who were a little bit worried about what was coming through me. And I went to the Episcopal priest, and he said, just look at Matthew where it says, just consider the fruits of the labor. So thank you for bringing that to us. We have an affirmation that we say every week during Faith in Action, and I love what Reverend Rick did last week, so we're going to do it this week. We're going to say this, have a brief silence, and we'll do this 3 times. Together. I release the illusion of separation. I step into presence. We are one. We live our light. I release the illusion of separation. I step into presence. We are one. We live our light. I release the illusion of separation. I step into presence. We are one. We live our light. And so it is. So next week is week 4, the Green Week, and I'm going to be talking about the awakening the light of our genius. I'm not sure how I got that one. Genius, yes, okay. We'll see. But Ann will be with us again, and Reverend Janae will be doing our meditation, and so it's going to be a lively and happy week, so join us. We love to greet our newcomers, and of course, if you're watching us online, you can go to slcworld.org, click on the Connect button, and fill out the card, and then that will keep you in contact with us, let you know more directly what's going on at SLC, and we really like the idea that if you live close enough, once you've gotten connected for a little bit, you'll come see us in person, because we always like to see new people here in the building. And if you are here in the building for the first time, new to SLC, in a moment I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. But first I just want you to know that we do appreciate your being here, and if you fill out the card we give you, you can go to the welcome table for a small gift and a very warm welcome. So we have anybody here for the first time today? Please raise your hand. Welcome. Thank you for coming. We love you and we bless you. And of course, this is also our opportunity to support Spiritual Life Center. So you can text SLC Love to 44321, especially those of you online, or you can go to slcworld.org and click on the donate button. And if you also would please click on like, comment, share, or subscribe. Now, when you subscribe, you get some benefits, because when you go to the channel, then you then you get the newest things right up front. You don't have to look for them so hard. And of course, also just the fact that you are sending this message out to the world, and the other people that get it will send that out into the world. And if this world needs something, it's need this kind of a message right now. So please do the click, like, comment, or share button pushing thingy. I love it when I get lost. Okay. And of course, now it is here in the sanctuary, if we'd like to bless our offering, and you can hold it up symbolically if you give electronically, or hold it in your hand. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say that I've lost my mind. I don't care if they call me crazy. We can live in a world that we've designed. 'Cause every night lying back, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away. Of the one I see, a million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build, every room inside it filled with things from far away. The special things I compiled, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. See, I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we've designed. and gentlemen, Walter. Thank you for dancing for us.
You know, last week we had a woman who had a dress which was like Sufis and was dancing twirl. Sufis have nothing on us. Let's just pray and say thank you for the prayers in our prayer box and for the prayers which remain in people's hearts. Help them to know that they truly are one with the one, and that through that spiritual link, they have the power to meet the challenges that they are facing. Thank you for the time, treasure, and talent that is invested in this ministry. Thank you for SLC, this incredibly wonderful city on a hill, which has a powerful message, which, believe me, is really needed right here and right now. And for all this, we say thank you and amen and amen. And we also say that wonderful prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well. And we sing that wonderful peace song. For some incredible more music, and then join us in the courtyard for fellowship.
Bye.